Halloween.
Forever.
Welcome, boys and ghouls, to the first annual 1-year anniversary of Halloween is Forever. I'm Brian.
I'm Meg.
Oh, Steve.
Guys,
The champ.
we did it.
Oh, the belt's
Steve,
here.
this is no time. This is no time for self-serving dialogue here.
It's to celebrate
This
me.
is not about you.
Not your birthday.
This is about
This is the podcast
the
birthday,
first
okay?
annual
Get your shit
anniversary.
together.
Every year we're going to have an anniversary. It's
Uh-huh.
going to be annual.
Yeah.
This is the first one.
Dang.
First annual anniversary of the Halloween is Forever podcast. In June of 2021 was our very first episode, and we kicked it off with a showdown where we talked about camp slashers. And here we are a year later with another
speaking of
showdown
champs,
episode.
I just want to remind you that I was our first champ too, so it is almost like
That's
an
true,
anniversary.
But I am the
specifically.
winningest champ.
Did we break that down?
Yeah. With math. Yeah, we did a whole series of analysis. I've won more times than anybody else. I go down in history in the first year as the winningest champ in history of Halloween's Forever. Steve is, of course, the current champ. And Meg is neither. Here we are.
But guess who has the belt?
Yeah, because
I
you're
do.
a goddamn filthy thief.
Where are our little belts?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm ordering because this is like all around this week.
Yeah, because like I didn't do it. That's what you meant. Okay, yeah, totally. I was gonna I didn't order them yet because I haven't, so I am.
No, I was
gonna.
waiting till we officially start for our next year,
Yeah,
guys. Come on.
Meg's trying to run this dialogue. She's trying to control the narrative where this starts the second year, like it's a season, and in reality, we do calendar years here. Everyone knows it. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I think the inverse was true. You were arguing that it should be
Yeah.
a calendar year.
She was arguing
I
calendar.
was
Yeah,
arguing that it should be like a season.
Because she went on a streak in the beginning of 2022 of
Right.
having the most wins.
Yes,
So she
yes,
wanted
True.
to start calendar
So
wins.
I just
Thank you
argued
for
her.
reminding our listeners too.
Yeah, of your chicanery.
Yeah. Guys, I don't trust either of you. All right, here we go, guys. We are here in June of 2022. The summer is about to kick off, and we are jumping into a topic. If you recall, if you helped us in recent months vote, you know why we picked Creatures from the Deep for our first annual anniversary #1 episode. And the reason why is because we all picked a topic that came up on the wheel throughout the course of the year, but got snubbed, and we felt that it was unjustly so. So we each picked our favorite that didn't get on. Then we voted on it, and Steve's did win, which is Creatures from the Deep.
Yes, as the prophecy continues.
As the prophecy has foretold.
I won, and then
Yeah.
I won the poll,
Yeah.
and now I'll win today.
Well, you know what? I picked the only movie that was actually on Tubi, so fuck you guys. I paid for both of your movies.
You know what? Tubi on my actual TV, like streaming it becomes the worst. Like I'm always having to like pause, and restart things. This is
blame
on you.
Tubi for
no,
your
I'm blaming you.
inadequacies.
I'm actually blaming you.
No, this is not Tubi's fault. This is your inadequacies. I have never had an issue with Tubi.
There's a theme today.
I get a
There's
soft
a theme today.
glow that comes over me every time the Tubi banner pops up on screen. And I just want to remind Tubi that I picked a movie that was on Tubi, and you guys didn't. So I think I get at least an advantage of some sort as a result of that. As a reminder, guys, the movies we're going to talk about here today, if you haven't watched them, too late. You're already listening. You fucked up. I picked The Host from 2006. Meg, you picked Deep Blue Sea
Deepest Bluest from 1999.
from the year of our Lord 1999. And Steve picked, I'm not entirely sure why he picked it, but he
fucking
picked
rules.
Piranha 3D from 2010.
Yes.
Oh, good Lord.
Since watching Deep Blue Sea, I've been trying to ruin people's day with Deepest Bluest. I'm like, you're just,
pull up to a red light, just cranking it. Middle fingers out of both windows.
I think it's a new hobby of mine to do that. Send people really shitty songs.
Yeah, that's a good one. And there is few shittier than Ladies Love Cool James and his chart-topping hits. Deepest, bluest.
That's the thing. I
In
think
parentheses, my head is like a shark's fin.
I'm pretty sure it did top the charts.
Probably.
It definitely got radio play. I
Yeah.
feel like.
For 99, that song was a banger.
I don't know why.
I just want to know what the dance looked like, because we all had, there was always dances going on.
Yeah.
Let's start a TikTok trend now.
It was like a video where like it was different platforms and like there were waterfalls coming down on LL Cool J
Yep.
and there was background dancers, but I don't think
I
there was
remember the color. Like I genuinely remember. Maybe I'm remembering a fisheye lens. I don't know, but it was 1999, so it's probably a fair bet.
Yeah.
But what else? Like, what type of hat was he wearing?
It was just like a.
I thought
it
it
might
was
have
a
been
do-rag. Yeah, I think this was a do-rag.
What? He wasn't even wearing a proper hat.
No, it wasn't a shark fin hat. Not at
a
all.
baseball
He
cap,
said
a
it's like
cowboy
it.
hat.
It's not it. He said it's like it.
No, a do-rag is not a hat. It's a head covering. It's not a hat. That's like me saying, going to a derby party, got to wear my hat, and I show up in a bandana.
I don't think this is a fair argument because neither Meg or I have enough melanin to make the argument whether or not it is a hat.
A do-rag is a head covering. It's not a hat. Right?
I don't know.
My hat is like a shark's fin in the way that it is not a hat or a shark's fin.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have a hat on this video, I'm going to look it up. I'm going to be furious.
Pretty
I
sure
think
he
I,
doesn't. I'm pretty sure he's
Wow,
wearing a
that's
do-rag.
trash. Ladies Love Cool James. That is trash. All right, guys, we're already getting off on tangents. We have serious things to discuss here. I will remind you before we go any further, so we do not forget in the future, if you want to help us to choose these piece of shit nonsense movies, and you want to choose something that you feel has a particularly poignant song in the soundtrack, go over to the social medias and give us a follow, and then suggest some topics for us. You can do so on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. I just looked at Meg and my eyes just got really big. Or HalloweenIsForeverPod@gmail.com. You can email us. Otherwise, just search Halloween is Forever on there. You'll find it. So we are back in person for the first time in a hot sec.
Mm-hmm.
We got some snackies.
Gas prices are so high.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
That's what
I
you're
don't want to
blaming it on?
drive. Yeah, I don't want to drive.
Yeah.
anywhere.
We are we've got some snackies. We've got some beers. We've got both sour snackies and spicy snackies.
And boozy snackies.
And boozy snackies. We had a whole host of snackies. And then we've got some fun stuff to talk about. Let's talk about beers first. What kind of beers do we got here? You guys got a couple of divergent styles.
Yeah, I got dark beer. I have a coffee porter by Burial, and it's called, what is it called? The Beginning is After the End. And it's just a coffee porter, 6.5%. It's really good though.
Label's
like,
beautiful too. I think
Yeah.
both of us brought it today for labels.
Yeah.
Burial makes some good ass beers. Oh, that is kind of sick.
Yeah,
Is it a
I mean,
Panther?
it's it's the same
You gotta hold it
artist
closer
all
to
the
your face
time.
to see it.
I know. I should call out. I could not find my glasses. I was walking around for 10 minutes while Meg and Steve stared at me as I was bumbling around the house looking for my glasses.
He
Fucking
couldn't see
Mr.
us staring
Magoo.
at him.
This puts us at an advantage now. Meg, he's blind.
I can't. I don't know what the fuck happened to them. They're gone. Good beer though.
Yeah.
Let me give it a sniff.
Like it's hard to really get
Ooh,
a
big
sense
coffee.
of there's not much beer flavor to it really.
Mhm.
It's like all coffee, and as Brian just reacted, the nose is huge on coffee.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, I
not-
smelled it in the can, and it just like pops you with coffee.
Oh yeah,
It smells
it's
good
nice
though.
too.
Mm.
Yeah. Enjoy me some Burial.
Oh yeah. I grabbed. I really just want to say juicy or juicy juice, but it's juice juicy from Evergreen. It's an IPA. It's a little bit hazy and very it's not too bitter, so definitely a little bit more on the hazy side. It's really nice. I like. It's like 6%.
Who made it
into
again?
Evergreen
Oh,
out
yeah,
of
yeah.
it's like Mechanicsburg ish area. pretty, and the label is also very gorgeous. That's what
Pencil
drew me to it.
Tucky-ish.
Mhm.
Oh.
I can't see. I'm blind. I grabbed a beer from this brewery. I don't know if you guys have heard it before. It's called Sly Fox Brewing
Oh, where
Company.
are they based
yeah,
out of?
Yeah, I don't know. I have to Google it. But I did grab this one because I felt it to be appropriate. It's our summer seasonal Alex's Raspberry Lemon Ale. It's a partnership we do with Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation, second largest pediatric cancer foundation in the country.
Oh, sick.
Behind St. Jude's, based here in beautiful Pennsylvania, and we donate $1 for every case sold of this to the
yeah.
Alexis Lemonade Foundation. It's a cool partnership. They're awesome people and raise a bunch of money for childhood cancer. So
I'm really curious about that one.
Yeah, you have to
I
give it a try.
sometimes like give it like I like really into like shandy type things during the summertime. You
it's
know,
very
like
much in that vein.
cool.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
raspberry. It really tastes a lot like a raspberry lemon shandy. I mean, it's a beer that it delivers on what it says on the label.
Sick.
Yeah,
I like when breweries do that.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes they don't. Like
They
sometimes,
don't.
Right.
Yeah. It tastes
It's like a joke,
like
but it's
raspberry and lemon and a little bit of wheat malt. Like that's what it tastes like. But yeah, some are crushy. I actually haven't popped it yet because I'm drinking Hellas first. I just need to get some like beer in my veins real fast. So I'm gonna slam in this here
I
Hellas.
understand.
Yeah, I was up on a roof yesterday doing roof work all day. I'm sunburned. I'm sore. I woke up 15 minutes before you guys showed up. Well, I was up at 6:30 in the morning with my children, and then they went to a birthday party, and I was like, I'm gonna grab a little 45-minute napper. So I'm tired and fucking dehydrated and sunburned. I'm still gonna whip your fucking asses, you guys. All right, those are beers.
You're at such a disadvantage today.
I know. I feel I'm like a fucking.
He's blind.
I'm
He's
in
tired.
I'm like a fucking fight or flight's kicking in. I'm like a
Yeah.
fucking cornered animal. All right, we did beers. Let's also mention that here in a scant couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks. What the fuck is today?
2.5 probably
2.5
by the time this
weeks.
come out.
Yeah.
We are going to do our very first live episode of the podcast, live recording at Hop Farm Brewing Company, June the 25th, right?
Mhm. Yep.
At Hop Farm Brewing Company at what, 7?
We're gonna kick it off around 7 to hang out, and then
Show
live-
start a little closer to 8.
Yep.
And then we're going to do a live recording. We are going to talk about the A24 modern classic directed by one Mr. Ari Aster, Midsommar from 2019, 2018, 2019?
Somewhere in there.
Yep. Because Meg, you along with Malcolm at Hop Farm and a couple other people, right?
Yeah, so Katie at Coven Brewing Company,
Coven,
and
yeah, yeah.
then a bunch of different women who work within Hop Farm too, and then
Yep.
my other friend Shannon, who's currently working at Hitchhiker, she's involved in it too. So we got a really good roster of awesome chicks who all went in on some way, shape, or form with this beer. Farmhouse has like a floral tea to it, and locally harvested and sourced honey.
Yes. I'm excited for it. And then
Mhm.
aged in a foeder, right?
Yeah, it's currently in a foeder right now.
Yeah. Is there some wild yeast bacteria things happening in the foeder? Or is
No, that wasn't the goal. And like, this is the first time
I'm
he
just
decided to.
curious,
Yeah, no, he just was like, "Hey, we have time. Let's like toss it in here and get a little like woody character to it,"
Mm.
which I think will be really fun.
Mhm.
Add another layer because we also changed up this year and adding buckwheat, which
yeah.
to bring this like earthy tone. Last year we all kind of felt like it was a little bit sweet, and so this kind of like bring it like
super well attenuated,
Yeah.
earthier.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. I love anything like super floral. I have made beers. I once brewed a beer that was a Thai wit beer. It was like a wit
Mm.
beer with
Lemongrass.
Thai basil,
that
lemongrass.
sounds good.
What the hell else?
Coconut?
No.
Mango.
I'm thinking of like
No.
Tom Yum soup right now, and I'm really hungry.
No, there wasn't different. It was lemongrass, Thai basil,
Any peppers?
Szechuan peppercorns,
okay.
I think. And anyway, it was super floral, super perfumey. It was called Thai, spelled like Thai. Tie My Heart in parentheses in a double knot by Dolly Parton. That was the name. Name of the song or name of the beer.
That's awesome.
And it tasted like potpourri, and I loved it. Nobody else did though, because it was very perfumey, very like people were like, "This tastes like soap," and I was like, "Yeah, more for me." So anyway, come down, try this beer,
Mhm.
hang out at Hop Farm. eat some food, drink some beer, hang out with us. Then we're going to do a live recording. We're going to do a little bit different format than we usually do in the podcast. I mean, we are going to drink beers and we're probably going to eat snacks, but we are also going to do like a little kind of fun live game talking about cults and cult movies and that sort of thing. It's going to be super fun. So come on down there if you live in the greater Pittsburgh area or, anywhere in the world and they're willing to travel for this. I mean, I would say it's worth thousands of dollars investment.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at this point there's people out there who would want to do this. Yeah, they should.
Yeah. I mean,
and
if you don't, then you are a coward. Yes.
And the Tubi gods will smite you.
Yeah, I mean, I will. Anything I can do to
the event is sponsored by Tubi at
their
this point.
smiting, I will do. That's a threat. But that should...
I now have an image of somebody at customer support at Tubi getting emails from Brian. Dear Tubi, can you smite
the following list of people?
These following Instagram
my
accounts.
Mom, my dad, all my teachers.
I just imagine it being like this Santa Claus thing, so he like writes a letter.
The lady yelled at me at Quickville. It's just a whole list. Yeah. PNC Bank, forgive me all those overdraft charges. It's just a whole list of people I don't like and have like a list of. Yeah, so it's going to be super fun. We're really looking forward to that. And then, guys, next week, when we do our punishment episode, when I get to choose the movie that these fuckers have to watch when I take it home today, got to watch or listen to next week's mini-so because we have a super exciting announcement about an upcoming guest that you guys are going to be like, what the fuck? How did that happen? So get ready for that business as well. Okay. Let's have some of these sneakies. Do you want to do? I'm kind of intrigued by these. You
I
want
am
to do these
too.
first? Tell us about these.
So back in March, they might be a little melted, so I apologize in advance. I don't know if they're gonna, you might have to eat them off.
I like my gummies body temperature. Like it feels like I just had them between my butt cheeks.
So I took a trip down to Austin, Texas, and I just went to a random store that had, I don't know, like these little boozy gummy snacks from Smith and Sinclair. They are, I think they're, how much, what's the ABV? I feel like they're 5% alcohol by volume.
What?
Yeah.
5% alcohol by volume. Yeah. And they're as big as a,
oh my God, mine's
as a Susan B. Anthony.
Yeah.
How did yours stay so perfect?
Mine was good too.
Yeah,
did you already eat it?
Fully
yeah, I already ate
intact.
mine.
Is yours all smushed up?
Yeah.
Here, let me smell it. Ew.
It's a gin and tonic.
Though.
So
yeah,
I have a gin and tonic.
Piney.
You had a whiskey ginger.
Yeah, whiskey
and then
ginger.
What was yours?
I had the espresso martini.
Yeah,
How
Meg
was it?
definitely bought these for our preferences.
Yeah.
Got Steve the coffee one, got me the bourbon gingy one, and then you got the gin and tonic. Ew, don't please.
Ew, gross.
Meg, fucking control yourself.
So
You guys didn't see what she did.
you were just
But
plopped
she,
it
like,
in.
it was like a cow eating like ice cream that was on the floor.
Yeah.
She just like licked it off the paper.
It was.
It's like a dog eating like something.
You know what it was,
She's
Brian?
choking on it.
Brian, you know what it was? She held the wrapper flat,
Yeah.
and much like a horse, she went down and pulled it up with her teeth. That's
fucking
real horse girl
dude
shit.
Yes.
I was really nervous there. I was gonna die because I put it in my mouth.
It was just disgraceful.
I told you guys. I was like, mine's smush. I'm gonna have to eat it off the wrapper.
That is good.
So I'll say, yeah, mine was good. It was
It
like,
is like if mine's almost like off-puttingly soft.
yeah,
Yours was probably
mush.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because mine was quite soft.
yeah, mine was really soft too.
But it
Mine
has
also
really nice
looked like it
flavor.
was rolled in dirt, but that's because like it was like a bunch of espresso particles in it.
Mhm. Ooh, they are really tasty though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That actually,
Yeah, a little
I'll
sweet.
tell you what, no joke, it tastes like whiskey ginger ale.
Mhm. Pretty good.
Yeah, mine
Wow.
definitely has like that Kahlua aftertaste.
Mm. Yeah, that's fucking yummy. I wonder how many of these you'd have to eat before you got hammered, and how offsetting the sugar rush
Mhm.
Oh my god.
would be to the depressant effects of the alcohol.
Yeah,
Like, would you get drunk or like go into
Mm.
diabetic shock first? Which one would happen?
I think
Good
diabetic.
question.
I think the shock definitely.
Yeah.
I'm just like imagining like I feel like they should have been like have more like alcohol content
yeah.
like within it to
There's
be
no
almost be like a
boozy
shot.
flavor. I
Yeah.
thought there was going to be a boozy taste
Right.
to it, like in like a boozy
like
dessert
a
or
Jello shot when there's
yes,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a Jello shot. You
Mhm.
taste booze.
Yeah.
You don't taste any booze in this.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, it's really tasty. Let's follow it up with something weird. Actually, let's go spicy, and then we'll come back to this here.
Then more
situation.
candy.
Yeah, then more candy.
More candy.
So I got two different spices. This was my initial one that I got. So Turkey Creek snacks. Let's see where Turkey Creek is
I think
located.
they're out east, aren't they?
Well, they are distributed by Benestar Brands of Chicago, Illinois. I don't know where they're actually manufactured,
Right.
but I will tell you this. This is a cheap ripoff of Cheetos, Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Mm.
They're called Blazin' Hot flavored cheese snacks.
Let's blaze up, guys.
They are Best by July 22nd, so we're getting close to the end of their life. By Turkey Creek, and I'm going to tell you, somebody it looks like they designed this logo on Microsoft Paint. This is not a high-end item here,
Sure.
but
Hey,
I do
at one
want
point, do you guys remember when MS Paint was like the high-end thing that we would all
What
use?
was?
Like when MS Paint was.
Oh yeah, back in the day for sure. Yeah, but that was 30 years ago.
I drew some.
If
like,
it was still
works of
1993,
art.
that'd be acceptable.
Oh God, I'm terrified.
Turkey Creek snacks. So we'll see. Yeah,
Okay.
do it up. Drebs
No, I grabbed 3. Fuck.
Yeah, these kind of taste end of life.
Yeah, they're stale. They're not fresh. Not stale, but they're not fresh.
Right.
That sounds so like cannibalistic. Like this tastes like the end of life.
They are really just exactly what I expected, which is Wish.com.
There's
Flamin'
only
Hot
one
Cheetos.
exclamation point when it says hot, so they're like not too bad.
Yeah.
No.
So I gauge it.
No, they're not that hot. They build a little bit. It's more of a like the Flamin' Hot has that thing that Doritos has, which like alters your brain chemistry and makes you go, "Oh my god, I want more."
Mhm.
Whatever it is. This doesn't have that. This
No.
is just like, oh, crunchy corn snack, and then there's a little bit like cayenne type heat that just comes on the back,
Yeah.
kind of builds. Not
It's
bad.
not interesting. I feel
No,
like
it's not
honestly-
interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not. All right, let's get that bullshit out of here because we are going. So we have had Takis on, I think, 2 separate occasions in our year one.
We've had the blue
you-
ones, right?
Yeah, like
We
you,
had the
you were
blue
trying to
one.
smoke it. Like
Yes,
Mhm.
I saw me trying to smoke a Taki one time, and then there was another Taki we had that was like disappointingly
Mhm.
not very hot.
Was it a Taki or was it a piece of sausage flavored as a Taki?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what it was.
It was
yeah.
a Taki flavored sausage.
Yeah.
But we have.
Oh
Yes.
Oh yes, it
Oh,
was
yes.
a Taki flavored sausage. No, but this is the kind of extra hot classic Taki. This is the Taki. These are the Fuego Takis, the extreme, the higher tier heat of the kind of classic flavors. And I
Mm.
thought, you know what, felt appropriate for our year one episode to get back to our roots.
Get back
which
to
is-
basics.
which
Just
is
regular old hot snacks. And,
regular ass.
I
old
feel
hot
like
snack.
the only thing that is missing is that no one brought wet meats.
I know.
That would have been more apropos.
I know. I was at the store. I was looking around. I was like, nothing really sounds that interesting. I figure we'll get back to it.
I feel like you're now a wet meat elitist, and I don't know. Like, I don't think you should do
Well,
that
it was
to
all
it.
stuff that- It was just like spicy Slim Jims. I'm like, come on, we're better than that. I mean, I'm not better than that, but I mean, we've done that. These are they're fantastic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love me a fucking Taki. Although these are not as spicy as I remembered.
They're not that spicy. I think we've already mentioned it before. They always have this like lime type character, like
Right.
tahini type vibe.
yeah,
are
they
fucking
always
good.
add a lot of citric acid to
Mhm.
Takis.
They are good as
I'm
hell,
cool
though.
with
I'd eat that whole bag in 5 seconds. Got me back on top. Really making the Turkey Hill.
I actually just had a really good
not
idea.
Turkey Hill.
So these
Pretty
are like obviously rolled up little snacks.
Mhm.
It'd be really fun to eat these with Bloody Marys, but like stick
Mm.
cheese and like
Mhm.
meats over top
I thought you
of
were
it.
going to say weed. Fill it full of weed.
and smoke it.
Yeah, I would do that. All right, these are this is an off the wall one here. We've had Warhead brand snacks here before. These are
Mhm.
Warhead's Ooze Chews. And listen, if you can walk into a store and see something with the word ooze in the name and not buy it, you are a stronger person than me because I cannot. As soon as I think ooze, I think The Secret of the Ooze, I think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I give you my money.
I always thought it was fun as a kid to like use warheads to like hurt people. I'd be like, yeah, if you like, you
We
shame
have established that Meg likes to use fun things to hurt people. Yeah.
Well, it's like
what
you
if
shame
I
them.
could make this painful for somebody?
Yeah.
You just shame people into eating them.
Mm. So these,
What are you, little wuss?
she does it too with like kids who are like allergic to peanut butter. She's like,
Yeah.
what are you, some sort of sissy? Eat this
Yeah.
peanut butter, you bitch. Was your throat closing up, you fucking bitch?
That wasn't ever a
Ooh,
thing
who
then.
can't breathe?
Why do
Oh,
why do both
anaphylactic
of these
shock.
toys in front of me have like their hands clasped? I understand Austin 316 because he needs beers, but they could also fit these.
They might be able to. Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I'm getting distracted.
Here's the flavors here. We've got the yellow, which is mango, which is I have, strawberry, green apple, black cherry, watermelon, and classic blue raz.
Like the blue raz.
Right off the bat, first impression, they don't ooze as much as I
No.
hoped. Misleading.
Squeeze them. Maybe they're old.
Are they old?
No,
No, they're much more built like they're built like a cow tail,
Yeah.
but like with a sour gummy exterior rather than that caramel.
They're clearly some sort of like extruded thing that has some sort of little like nougaty type of thing in the middle. But I was really hoping it was going to be like a gusher situation.
Yeah.
It's not.
Or what was that gum? And this is a real specific
Oh
like
yeah,
90s.
Bubblicious or something like that. That like had the juice in it. I
Mhm.
think it was a Bubblicious.
I'll tell you
one.
what. I just had a second one. A little oozier.
Okay.
Just a little
Just
bit.
if anything, I think if you put them in the sun, they'll melt a little bit, and then it'll ooze probably a lot better.
I'll
That's
put
what-
like a whole wad of them, hold them under my armpit for a while.
By the way, that's my rap name
Yeah.
now. Little Uzi.
But it's OOZ.
I
Yeah.
feel like you just
Yeah.
took that to an extreme level, Brian.
Yeah.
No one wants you
Mm.
to put it under your armpit.
He
He
wants
wants
for
to
you.
put
It's
it-
for me.
Yeah. He's not serving you.
You ain't my boss. Those are good though. I'm not gonna lie. That's a great
That's a
movie
good
theater
theater
snack.
snack. Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna
It
say.
is,
I was
yeah.
sitting there in the movie theater.
But
I'll
again,
get that.
I
I'll get
just
some
don't like that it's
Raisinets.
not
I'll-
that sour. I guess I want them to be really tart. I
Yeah,
want,
yeah.
Again,
You think
I want to
warhead?
be
You
in
think
pain.
aggressive?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we learned some things about ourselves in the snack section here today. The bougie snack ended up being. Here's what we learned. The bougie snack was actually good, except for when Meg tried to make us barf. Takis are still good. The generic ass Cheetos sucked, and these could be oozier. That's what we learned today.
Warheads is hurting their own brand by putting things out that are neither Uzi or Warhead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not sour and not oozy enough. But I'll tell you,
I just
they
think-
got me. You put ooze on the package. They got
I feel
me.
like you think about kids today, though, they're all like a lot weaker.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, basically our diets were like red, green, and blue,
Like that.
just as colors.
Yeah,
Just like everything's a syrup that's a color,
Mhm.
and then based off ooze and pop rocks and
Yeah. When I was a kid, I would just get like the stuff you squirted on top of snow cones,
Right.
and just like drink a pint of it.
yeah.
Just like, fuck you. What do you want?
I'm thankful
No
you're-
ice, just syrup.
No ice.
Yeah.
Thankful you're still here, Brian.
Barely holding on.
Icy blue raz, shaken, not stirred.
Yeah, hot. I want it hot. I want it to burn my throat on the way down. Yeah. So, we have done our snackies. We've
Mhm.
done our announcements. We've done our beers.
Yes.
Let's get into these fucking movies. And
Indeed.
unfortunately, I do have to admit, Steve is the current champ and does get to decide the order, as is tradition.
Champ does get to decide to order.
Yeah, that's true.
Champ decides that Champ will go first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's talking in third person. That's alarming, but all right.
Hey,
That's what happens.
yeah, it's what power does to you. Brian will go second, and we'll end with Meg.
Okay.
Yeah, because we want the fun one to wrap this up.
Interesting.
Well, we want
Okay.
the fun one to start as well.
or the only good movie. All right. Listen, guys. All right, it's too soon for this business. All right, Steve, kick us off.
Well, Piranha 2010, also known as Piranha 3D because it has a lot of 3D elements in it,
Mm-hmm.
and they're pretty great. But
The most liberal use of the word great I've ever heard in my fucking life. But
they're better
I'm thinking
than
of a
Friday the
dictionary for its
13th Part
birthday.
3.
that's true. There's
Yeah.
definitely more numerous than that.
Yeah, they're more numerous. They're more well incorporated. But
Mhm.
yeah,
There's some non sequiturs.
yeah.
nude swimming,
Oh,
nude
yeah.
synchronized swimming. All right,
That is tasteful full frontal.
I think I definitely had a note that this movie was basic. I didn't actually see exactly how I wrote it, but it's like overarching theme is just tits and fish for this film. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
tits and fish.
Yeah.
My first note is I'm nervous about why the true reason Steve picked this.
Because it rolls and it's a summertime film.
It is a summertime film.
Like, we're doing this in the middle of June, or well, start of June.
Mhm.
But that
and
wasn't the topic.
it wasn't the topic, but it also helps fit into the time, gets you in the mindset, gets you ready to party.
I never partied like that.
Well, maybe you can
I
try.
have a couple times.
Maybe you can try. Maybe it gets you
Want
pumped. Well, then you don't want to.
I guess you hate to party.
There's plenty of alcohol. There's plenty of booze. I bet there's some weed. There wasn't a whole lot of weed in this movie. but
No, there was definitely
lots of booze.
coke.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coke. Drinking.
Yeah.
Doing body shots. Drinking.
Drinking,
Losing
sexual
your dick.
assault, drinking.
But 2010, directed by Alexandra Aja, the director of High Tension. He gathers a all-star cast.
There's a lot of people in this.
Mm-hmm.
A little
Some
surprised.
of which I'm curious as to why they agreed. But
I felt the same. I felt specifically about Adam Scott because I feel like maybe when that came out, I don't know if he was on Parks and Rec yet, but I was just like, if
I
he
don't
was,
think he was, because I don't think he came onto Parks and Rec till like.
it'd be
I'll
really
check,
funny
I'll
if this
check.
was his platform
Yeah.
for getting out.
I forget when Parks and Rec even
I
started.
mean, he had
so.
been on Party Down.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he's been
true,
on Party
yeah.
Down.
Yeah.
And like he just already was associated with like Paul Scheer, who's also in this movie.
He had just started on Parks and Rec.
Okay. Yeah. So we have Adam Scott, Paul Scheer, we have Jerry O'Connell,
Mhm.
which
No, I'm
Brian,
sorry. He had not quite yet.
Okay.
Sorry. He had not quite yet, I believe. started Parks
Brian
and Rec.
was very adamant that Jerry O'Connell is a bad actor, but I think this is a role he's actually good in.
Because it
Because
seems
he-
like
necessarily
it seems
think he's-
natural. Like
Yeah.
you're a naturally shitty human being. But I'm not saying he's good.
He's
Now,
good in this role, though.
My note is like
The best.
every time I see Jerry O'Connell, I have to be talked into not hating him. You know what I mean? I go like, oh fuck this guy, and I'm like, he's not that bad. All right, he can be funny. This is a character, but maybe it's a testament to how good at being a douchebag he is.
Right.
Yeah,
it, feels,
I don't
it just felt
like
too
Jerry
natural.
O'Connell.
Like it felt too natural for him.
Well,
I
he's
just
too
think-
good looking, and he plays douchebag so well
Mhm.
that honestly, it's probably a testament to him.
Mhm.
But like, what did we watch him in not that long ago?
Scream 2.
Oh yeah, Scream 2.
Mm.
I'm like, God, he's so hateable, but it's like,
Yeah.
that's kind of what he's supposed
And
to be.
and the other thing is like, well, he's not necessarily be totally hateable in Scream 2. He's supposed to be the love interest.
No, you know who I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of, you know what movie I'm thinking of is the, not Satanic Panic. What was the movie where it was like the rich people in the satanic cult that sacrificed
It
people?
was like not too. It came out not
It
too
just
long.
came out, like,
yeah,
last year or something like that.
I do know.
I'll
what you're
But it's
thinking
not
of.
Satanic Panic.
was it Satanic?
Yeah,
That
that
sound-
sounds
actually,
right
that-
to me.
yeah,
Yeah,
that-
Yeah,
does
yeah.
sound
I
right
think
to
it was
me.
called Satanic Panic,
Yeah.
I
actually.
think if it wasn't that,
Yeah,
I'd be
because it was
really
like all
surprised.
suburbs,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
then it
they're,
ends with
like,
an
rich
altar
and-
scene outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That
Satanic
had a lot
Panic.
of boobs too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
that was
that's
kind-
also a good movie. That's
Yeah,
kinda
that was
fun.
a fun one.
And just like Piranha 3D. The movie opens though with one of the greatest cameos as well. One Richard Dreyfuss fishing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why? This was my second note after I was nervous why you picked this movie was
Mhm.
why would Richard Dreyfuss do this? That was my question. He
Because
doesn't
it
need the
sounded like
money.
fun.
Yeah, I
Maybe he
guess.
did though.
Maybe.
Maybe 2010 he had an issue with a gambling debt or
He
something.
could have. That could be true.
But yeah, it opens with Richard Dreyfuss fishing, and then we get the ecological themes that are also present in the host. Of he throws a bottle in.
Wait.
Yeah, hold on. He throws a bottle in the lake
Yeah.
and litters, and that's what opens up the seam. That's the straw that breaks the camel's back of opening up the seam to the subterranean underground lake,
Yeah.
which releases the prehistoric piranhas
Yes.
that come and kill him,
That's true.
as well as everybody else.
That's true. There is an ecological element, but
Mhm.
it is 100% played surface level as a Jaws ripoff.
Yeah, that too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Let's
You
just
get
be
both.
clear. Let's
You
just be
get
clear.
both.
Yeah.
It's layered, Brian.
It's layered.
You
By
have,
layered, you mean ripped off of a bunch of different movies.
yeah, you have the layering of Richard Dreyfuss, sort of reprising his role. He's not called Hooper, but you get that, but and then you get the ecological disaster,
Mhm.
and it's a great message to not litter in lakes like a douchebag.
Yeah.
Or else you release piranha fish.
Sure.
Just like the host.
I just thought it was saying like beer is somehow the cause to all these problems.
Mm-mm.
Like, yeah. I'm just joking.
Well, no, because
It's
when
like
you
an overarching theme of all of our lives.
But the thing is, like, there wasn't really a theme of littering throughout the
There was, because they were like, they were like literally said the whole time, like every spring break, these like, because they made a joke when they were diving, they're like taking dibs on shit.
Oh, you're right.
and also Ving Rhames made that kid clean up all that shit too.
that's
Yeah.
true. You're right. You're right. I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep. Ecology's part of it.
Kind of. Sure.
Just as smart as the host.
The false
But more
equivalencies.
I like
the false equivalencies here.
But no, the false equivalency ends at that because then Piranha's more fun, and then it's also a half hour shorter. So,
But it
We'll
felt
talk
a half
about
hour
that.
longer.
but the other thing is, this film also has the themes of family, just like the host. But again, more fun
What?
and a half hour shorter.
So your argument is this is almost as good as the host?
No, I'm saying it's better because it's shorter and funner, and it's got more boobs and blood
All right.
and 3D.
But we have to say it like we do have to agree here that the fish like would it be considered CG or whatever? It was
Yeah,
terrible,
CGI.
as fucking awful.
Everybody's look. I'm gonna put a rule right now.
I'm gonna say mine was not the worst.
No, I'm gonna say everybody's CGI is bad, so we can't say anything about
Mine
that.
was the best. Mine was the least worst.
No, I actually
Yes.
don't think so.
Mm,
I think yours was the worst.
Yeah,
and then
Piranha
and
3D
then
was
mine.
definitely the worst. And then yours was second worst, and then mine was the best.
there's way
Sure, we
more
can argue that.
practicals in Deep Blue Sea.
That's true.
So like, there's one practical scene at the end of the host,
Mhm.
but I think that it's aged too badly.
Yeah. Also, my movie.
Also,
It's
it's
the
too
middle.
much daylight.
Let's also be clear. Meg's movie cost, I think, $80 million.
Okay.
Okay, let's just keep that.
Okay.
It should be definitely the best. If it's not, that should be because it costs either 60 or 80
I mean, you've seen the
million
cast, right? I mean, you did see the cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to spend a lot of money on cast, but my cast has turned out to be way more long-standing as an ensemble. People are definitely way into Elizabeth Shue, who's currently on The Boys.
Mm.
Yeah,
But Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
one,
It's one of the most
But-
famous.
one.
Thomas Jane is still doing
yeah,
stuff.
Thomas
Like,
Jane
Nobody
is-
pays attention to Thomas. Thomas Jane is doing those shit-ass
Excuse me.
movies with Bruce
excuse
Willis.
me.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Thomas Jane is
Oh my gosh.
fantastic. I do love Thomas Jane.
He,
Such a
he's-
beautiful
he
man.
was enjoyable
I
until
mean, he
he's
sucks in your movie, but he's. No, he's in The Mist.
He's in The
Mhm.
Mist, and
Yep.
he's in
Lead roles.
what's the Christina Applegate, Cameron Diaz movie? The Sweetest Thing.
Didn't he play the Punisher at some point too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's a bad Punisher movie,
Mhm.
so
I do remember that.
it's not Warzone.
It's not Punisher Warzone. That's for sure.
Let's keep talking about your bad movie. Actually in the first scene though, I was gonna say because I didn't like when he was being attacked. I thought that looked really bad, but the only redeeming thing is like when his hand was out. I felt like however they
So-
did that
cool.
special
So the
effect was
practical-
actually
yeah.
really good.
Yeah, the practical effects are done by Greg Nicotero, so that's why all of that rules.
Mhm.
And then the CGI is bad, but everybody's CGI is bad, so I don't feel bad about that.
Yeah. We're all generally in the same area with CGI.
Yeah,
I feel like.
yeah, it's not great. But the practical effects are good, are probably the best in mine, and then second in Meg's, and then there really isn't too much
There's not
going
much in the
on.
way of practical effects, but there's a lot of I would say the people in mine interacting with the CGI monster is very believable.
Yeah,
like they
yeah,
put the CGI monster
Okay.
in the scenes well.
right.
But let me also say this: it was just everyone running away from something.
No, there was a lot of
There's some
a
good
lot-
tail
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
There
There's
was
some-
and there was close quarters fighting of it.
Mhm.
There was people
Yeah.
getting knocked out of the way, like narrowly missing danger. I just remember the first time I saw it. Now this movie's coming up on 20 years old,
Mhm.
and I remember anyway. We're not talking about my
Yeah,
movie.
Right.
and I was
Wait,
gonna
wait,
say,
wait.
I think Steve's doing something on purpose.
Yeah.
So we need to
He's
stop
throwing us
talking
for a
about our
loop here.
movies.
We're playing into his shenanigans.
I was just talking about how there's a theme of family.
Steve, but
in
you guys
this.
can't see
comparing.
Steve. He's doing this hands in the air thing. Like I didn't even mean to.
I'm just saying that like, I was talking about the themes of family in my film, and you
Sure.
guys tried to derail me. But we're introduced to Elizabeth Shue, who is the sheriff of this town, it's
Mhm.
Lake Victoria in Arizona, which is very much I don't know how much of a party town that is, but everybody knows like the Lake Havasu.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a very Lake
correlation.
Havasu, Lake Tahoe, not Lake
Mhm.
Tahoe, Lake Havasu kind of feel,
Right.
I guess.
Yeah. Everybody's on a party boat getting drunk.
Yeah.
And she's the one that's in charge of all these people. And she is very much fed up and tired and stretched to her limit. And as a single mother, she also has to deal with 3 kids, which is really hard on her. So
I'm
Yeah.
not laughing at single mother. I'm laughing at Steve.
That's Steve. Like,
Seems like
he did that
empathy,
like look up
like-
thing. Like this is serious.
this is serious. It's
Like,
a lot.
am I gonna hit
It's
a
a lot.
heartstring with Megan over here? No, bro.
I wasn't even trying. I mean, I just looked at you at that moment, but I wasn't. I was just more playing to the audience.
My favorite boat, like when they were like doing all the party scenes, was the Jesus boat. Did you
Mhm.
guys?
Yeah. They're like, read the Bible. It just was a thing that just said, read the Bible.
Yeah, just read the Bible and then like
If I ever saw somebody with a sign that just said, read the Bible, I'd just be like,
no.
Actually, I have. I did Bible quizzing as a child. It's not great.
Yeah, it's not. It's boring.
Bible, 80% of it's unreadable.
Yeah, you cannot understand that as a child. Good luck.
Yeah.
You can understand the parts about the bears attacking people, and that's about it. But yeah, we get introduced to Jake, who is the son of the sheriff. He's living in town, and he really desperately wants to go out and party with everybody else, but he
Just
can't.
wants his penis touch, you know.
Yeah,
He's a
Teenage
teenager.
boy.
He's 17.
horny.
he's trying
Who
to.
was his love interest? What is her actual name? Because I'm like, she looks really familiar. Oh, because she was on the Chicago-based Shameless.
Oh, okay.
She
Oh,
actually
yeah.
played like in later season part of this like couple. Anyway,
Okay.
I was trying to figure
her-
out where I could see her from.
Yeah, her name is Jessica Shore, I think, or
Okay.
something like that. But then she's also on the Orville this season, I believe. So,
Okay.
she is introduced as Kelly. She's back in town from college, but she's still meeting up with her old high school flame. And Jake is obviously, the spurned.
Never date a DJ.
I did. That was a
Rule
pretty
of
funny
thumb.
scene when they're in the. So first of all, also don't ever date anyone who drives a Jeep Wrangler. Like that's a hard. Just no Jeep Wranglers. But they're in the Jeep.
This is
You
not
know,
a
top
dating
down,
relationship
And he
advice, Joe.
turns to him and he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "Hey dude," whenever he gives him a finger.
Yeah.
I do always love a gag when somebody's like super mean to somebody for no reason like
Right.
that. It's funny. It is funny.
And then this is where you get your first bit of 3D too,
Mm-hmm.
because he's like, "Hey, nice shirt," and he goes, "Oh, thanks," and then he throws an icy at him and hits him right in the shirt, but the icy comes at the screen.
It was like a full icy. You just wasted the
yeah,
icy, bro.
what a waste. But I mean, this was 2010, so it probably only cost like $1.25.
Yeah.
Inflation had not hit the icy scene yet.
Right. I did note that this was the late 2000s, which was before fat people existed,
Mhm.
and everyone was a douche.
Yeah.
This was that perfect sweet spot between like 2004 and 2008, 9, where everyone was insanely skinny.
hmm
Like you look around the scene, and I was like, there is not one person who is above like 25 BMI on this entire fucking cast.
I really had a
Ving
funny.
Rhames.
Well,
'Cause he's a big dude.
Well, he's
Yeah.
huge. Yeah,
right, yeah.
he's huge.
But that's it.
I
Like
was-
all the extras in the background, they all looked like they're on like 6-month coke benders.
A
Yeah.
note I had on like
They all look
all
like
of-
Paris Hilton.
like every extra that you're referring to is that I think the direction that they gave them was that
Be hot.
no when in doubt put your butt towards the camera and just like lay on something.
Never make eye contact with the camera.
Do
not look at
the
Only
camera.
have your butt.
only butts.
The only person who was not built like Paris Hilton was later on one Miss Gianna Michaels.
Yeah,
But we
but
haven't
she's a
got there.
legend, and everybody would recognize her.
yeah, I immediately recognized her. You haven't got there? We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Wait,
We'll get
what?
there.
She's a very famous porn actress.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was
mean,
like, I missed
she-
something.
It's hard.
Was she
which
one
is-
of the ones on the boat?
No.
She
Okay.
was the one parasailing with her boobs out.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, very famous, very well known because she's like one of the few porn actresses that she's like 5'10",
Okay.
So she's like a taller, bigger
Mhm.
lady.
She does the Amazonian.
Yeah,
type
she
shit,
exactly. She Amazonian does type shit.
Sure.
Mhm.
So like yeah.
And she's like super aggro.
right.
I really.
And just beats the shit out of dudes.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
like spits on their dicks and like
Cool.
and like swings
not in
them
a good
around
way.
by their dick in her hand. Yeah. She's very
real
she's-
Wonder Woman bullshit. If you know the Futurama reference of death by Snoo Snoo, that yeah.
We're getting off on a tangent here. I in college had a entire folder dedicated to Gianna Michaels. She was top tier for me in college.
Big Mommy, take me away.
I had a whole folder.
But again, just another
This one's
perfect
great.
casting by Alexandra Aja to get people to recognize. They're like, oh, I know who that is, and I'm not going to talk about it. But
Too bad she's a
Guess
terrible
what? We
actor.
all
Yeah.
just talked about it.
Yeah.
well, we talk about it now because we're old and it doesn't matter, and, and it's the future. Everybody's open with
Yeah.
their sexual things.
Very true.
Like Twitter is disgusting. Have you ever been? But yeah, through this, we also get introduced to Jake's younger sister. And then this is where kind of the inciting incident of Jake's younger sister runs into a wild, wild girl, which is an obvious Girls Gone Wild takeoff.
Yeah.
And they're having a conversation. Jake comes to pick up his daughter or pick up his sister. And he meets Jerry O'Connell, who's looking for a local tour guide to take him around the lake. And, Jake is enticed by women because of his penis, because he's 17.
Well, there's also like this
The
girl.
little girl was just like boobs.
Yeah. She was also setting him up. There was the this woman who was part of the shoot was like 10 years older than everyone and
Mhm.
looked like a Victoria's Secrets model. Like
Right.
she's
Mhm.
not. It was a very different vibe.
She was very easily 25, and we've already established Jake is 17.
Yeah.
So again, this is a 2010 of the age,
Yeah.
you can still do this Me Too stuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be considered grooming. People would be very upset.
Yeah. She's 9 to 10 years older than him.
Right. But it's still, he's driven by his penis.
Yeah.
The
The theme of this movie is nice.
nice. It is. That's why this movie rules.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, he gets this job offer to take him around. His sister is obviously gonna tattle or rat him out that he has to babysit, but he doesn't want to do that. Back at home, you get to meet the little brother, and Elizabeth Shue is very adamant about him watching his little brother and sister.
As he's
and-
very adamant about watching porn.
and he's trying to watch porn. Yes, because again, don't bust in my room. Which this actor who's playing Jake, he's not like the best actor,
Mm-mm.
No.
but
Yeah.
this scene
No,
is
he's
probably the most real. And when he's like, "Mom, come on!" No,
I asked you to knock.
I asked you to knock.
Like, I don't need any coaching here.
Yeah,
I
he's
have
like,
experience.
yeah, I just got done doing this like probably 3 weeks ago. Like,
He is. I would go as far as say terrible actor.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
not great, but
The only and the whole time Kate and I were watching this the other night, and I was like, "What do we know him from?" And she knew him from some like little obscure, ABC freeform show or some
okay.
shit or whatever. But he was in like the Vampire Diaries. That's
sure, if you say so.
Yeah, he was really in nothing else. Like after he had this like 5-year window where he was like in a few things,
Yeah.
like teen things,
Mhm.
and then never again.
He probably just got old as he, and ugly. So-
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
it was
well,
this movie that kind of ruined him. It might be.
I don't think it ruined him. It's just one of those like you get old, and if you can't act, then people don't want to hire you.
So yeah, at some point you have to be good.
Yeah, you can be cute for only so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for if you're Adam Scott, you're cute forever. Apparently,
Right.
That's
because this
true.
was so long
That's
ago.
true.
He looks exactly the fucking same
He
as he
does.
does now.
Mhm.
He is like, what's his name?
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd,
Yeah.
in that he doesn't fucking age.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Except for unlike Paul Rudd, he cannot do action and shouldn't ever.
I think that's the best and most surprising part of this. That's awesome to go back and watch this movie and go,
Yeah.
Adam Scott, action hero.
yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, his character is likable, and we can just move on to when he's being introduced. Because of this earthquake that happened underneath the lake that released the piranhas, they call in the geologists And Adam Scott, as part of this team, he comes out with 2 divers to check the geology of the lake, and they meet up with Elizabeth Shue, and she has to escort them around while also, her deputies are watching the lake. And basically, this is where the story breaks off into its A, B, and C plots. And it's all family related because you have Elizabeth Shue out with the divers. Jake goes on the party boat with the porn actresses and Paul Scheer and Jerry O'Connell. And his love interest is begrudgingly dragged along in a way, but she also comes along rebelliously.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's very much rebelling against what other men would tell her what to do. Because she's already
She didn't get the backstage passes.
Right, yeah,
No?
she-
Big
yeah.
Fuck you.
she's already upset at Todd, who's probably the biggest piece of shit.
Yeah.
Later in the film,
We've all
his-
dated a Todd. It's okay.
he's like the worst person. I never dated a Todd.
Yeah. He's the worst, and then she's right after him. She's the worst too.
yeah. But yeah, she's on. Jake is trying to convince her
And
not
Jake's
to
the
go.
worst too. There's
Yeah,
no one
Jake's-
good.
Jake's not great either.
Yeah, they're all the worst.
He should have just watched his.
Yeah, watch your fucking don't go out on weird, creepy rapist porn boats.
Yeah.
And where they just try to pressure 17-year-old girls to take their tops off.
He's
Just
just-
watch your fucking little brother.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna like talk shit on Jake for a second too, just like and how bad of an actor he was. Like every time there was something related to the Wild Wild Girls, like the look on his face was always just like that surprise, like sick, and he probably immediately had a boner, and
Yeah.
they just didn't show it.
It was
Is
like
that
just
bad
was so-
acting though?
Yeah, it is. It was because it was just so awkward. I was like, God, no. It's like,
It was like he
like
had
cringe.
never. Yeah, he was not trying to play it cool at all. It was like a Looney Tunes eyes bug out of the
Yeah,
head.
yeah.
But I think that's good acting. If that because
maybe for this specific type of movie,
It's a very
that, like,
cartoonish
yeah.
performances across
yeah,
the
but I
board.
mean,
Yeah.
for the character he's playing a dude who has never had his dick touched. So, like, you go out with literally a person who's hotter than you'll ever speak to again, and her blonde friend,
I mean, I'll let you guys.
and they're
speak
gonna
for
get
him.
naked.
Mm. Yeah, I'm
I
not
think-
saying that a 17-year-old kid wouldn't be excited about this.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that this guy is a bad actor.
Okay. But I think he's playing that role well of being just so aghast.
I still
that he-
like. I think it's like a caricature. Like I do think it's just like a
Yeah.
cartoony.
Yeah,
That's all
he's
I
cartoony, but I feel like a lot of. Did you see? In the scene where like he's going down to the boat,
Yeah.
and there's just like the big party crowd
Yep.
by the boat. Did you see the other nerd that was like really next to him? Like there's another guy who's right next to him, and he has like the biggest horn rimmed glasses, and you can tell he's just like a total spaz.
Okay.
And he makes Jake look awesome in this scene because if you see this kid, he's just like, oh my god, I saw a boob.
I missed this.
Go back,
Yeah, I
go
see-
back
yeah.
for just that scene, and
Yeah.
you'll see this kid. He sticks out like a sore thumb. He's right over like Jake's right shoulder, and you'll
Mm.
see him right there, just like, oh, a lady. Yeah. And then
for
the,
sure had a
yeah.
boner.
the C plot of this is that the kids that he's supposed to be watching, Jake, they go out on a canoe and they go rowing out to a little fun remote island, and then the canoe gets lost. So
Fucking
now
little shithead kids.
they're
Like,
dumb. Yeah,
Shitheads.
yeah, they're dumb. They could have just stayed on that rock the entire time and been safer than everybody else, though. Like, there's no ticking clock for them to get off that rock.
Maybe like a rising or like rising the tide. Maybe.
No, it's a lake.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's still like kind of like you can kind of get some tides though.
Yeah,
We had a
that-
big
I mean, it's
enough
not a-
lake.
yeah.
yeah. There just wasn't a ticking clock until they got on the boat later. That and then it started filling up with water, and that they were really in peril. But yeah, they could have just stayed out there and like somebody picked them up later. They would have been hungry and sunburnt, but it'd be fine.
Yeah.
You get a couple more attacks here and there.
Well, the divers. I had a comment about the divers because I felt like when they went down and they obviously got killed,
Mm-hmm.
like when they were going in the cave, it kind of had that like alien Prometheus vibe, like
Mhm.
with all the eggs type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like it reminded me of that.
Yeah. It definitely they do a pretty decent job, even though it is really dark and murky and just like
Mhm.
whatever I was watching, like was badly compressed, but you still had those like these towering spires of piranha eggs, and it's a kind of a cool reveal where the one diver goes to pick up an egg, gets bit, and then lights an underwater flare, and he's just surrounded by all those fish.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you just get like a sense of the scale of like all the fish that are,
But then
out there.
why will the fish have that like Dilophosaurus spitter dinosaur from Jurassic Park thing going?
Mhm.
Where they like
Yeah.
their gills turn into this little like
It's a little frill.
Henry
Yeah.
VIII, ring thing around their head, kind of like the spitter dinosaurs in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I thought that was odd. I didn't know the fish have that.
Well, they're like
Some of them do.
ancient.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
Yeah.
ancient.
Yeah, they're
They are
ancient.
ancient fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of weird fish out there, Brian. There's
That's
one
true.
that has a fucking light bulb on its head.
That's true.
What are you
I
mad
have seen
about?
that one. I just thought that was strange. Like it's not like any other piranha I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah, well,
But I
it's an
guess
old
they're
piranha.
prehistoric
Yeah.
piranhas.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Also,
All right,
and it-
I'll take it.
also, it helps you, know how the piranhas are emoting.
That's true.
Are they super angry or are they regular angry?
Yeah. See, they're piranhas, so they should just all be like neutral. They
Yeah.
don't have human emotions because they're fish.
I just want to like think that they could also use those to like purr like cats. Like, purr.
Yeah. It's like it's how they sense what's around them. Their eyesight's so fucking bad from being in an underground cave
Mm.
that they shake the frills,
Yeah,
and then
I
it's
guess
like
if they have been
echolocation.
in
Yeah.
underground, if they've been in an underground lake this long, they should not be able to see.
Right, just like The Descent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Another great movie.
Another great movie. Yes.
Another great movie. Put this on Facebook to say.
We're actually gonna start talking about that movie now.
And like The Descent, this is also a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you mention the fact when they fully rip off the Jaws storyline so much so that they have the conversation about how they can't, but it's like an afterthought. It's 45 seconds of them going, we can't close the lake. It's too financially important for our town.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But then there's never like
Yeah.
anything else associated with that. They just were like, that's why we're gonna not do it.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
that's an earlier scene before they have a full scale of what's going on. Because at that point, they'd only found a body.
Right.
They found a body that, and by Ving Rhames' assessment, the body could have been in the lake for years.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, they're discovering like maybe an old murder scene or an old drowning. They don't know it's an active, Richard Dreyfuss just got ate
Mm-hmm.
earlier that day.
Right.
Once they do discover it's all piranhas all the way down, they do try to, close that shit up.
They do. They
Yeah.
make a modest effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is just again a fun little Jaws reference, but I think it's more important later on that once they discover there's a problem, they try to shut it down. They don't they don't let some doof-ass mayor in a shitty anchor jacket tell them what's going on.
That's true.
But yeah, this is your first instance of Adam Scott hero as well, because as the divers are coming back up, one is being torn apart by the piranhas, and he dives in after without even thinking.
Mhm.
'Cause he's a brave man.
Brave man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he brings up her body, and it is just torn apart. And this is where you get like a really great Nicotero, just gory, gross body.
Yeah, they do a couple of those because then
Yeah.
it happens with Jerry O'Connell later,
Mhm.
and yeah.
But yeah, that's when they decided it's time to shut down the lake. But they go back to the lake, and everybody's partying. Nobody's listening.
Yeah, because they're just telling people to show their Danny DeVitos.
Right. Well, that's Eli Roth.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I have nothing good to say about Eli Roth.
Yeah. Eli Roth, it makes sense that Eli Roth would be in this movie
Yeah.
and would get that kill because he is definitely an exploitation horror
Mhm.
guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like unapologetically, he's into exploitation horror. And that's what pretty much what this is. This is the 2010 equivalent of just like shameless exploitation horror.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it would make sense that Eli Roth is
Yeah. Yeah. These films are few and far between nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, I would say actually the sadness is close
Mm.
in a lot of ways, just on levels of gore
Mm-hmm.
and the disgusting lengths that film goes to.
Mm.
So it's so rare that people are willing to put enough money into a horror film to make it as gross as this, because I mean this one is basically an ecological disaster with the way it was so many thousands of gallons of blood that they pumped into a real lake to
I believe it.
Yeah.
Mm.
to just basically turn the lake red for that ending scene.
Mhm.
So and then you just have all the like gross like all the gross body parts all through it, all the makeup that's on all these people at the end. you have that crazy stunt where Todd is running a boat through a whole bunch of people. Like
Eventually gets the girl with the rudder. I thought that
Mhm.
actually was a pretty good one where it pulled her.
right.
off.
Yeah, it just rips her face off. Yeah.
Yeah, this movie had it was exploitation horror, so it's like you got to give it some get out of jail free cards,
Yeah.
but there's just so much stuff that I have written down here that I'm just going to not let you glance over. So just keep going and then
What,
we'll
like
hit it
the-
as we go.
Like what? Like the taste.
So first of all, the music is painful in the whole movie.
I never really
Painful.
noticed it.
God, it was like piercing my ears.
What
after
was
a while.
like? It was like either the intro or the ending song that was just like. I can't remember exactly all it said. It was just really bad, like cock rock
Yeah.
bullshit, but also like so just like on the nose the entire time. Like, show me your tits. It's summer break.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
That was the name of the song.
that-
I think it was called "Show Me Your Tits" in parentheses. It's summer break.
Yeah.
But there was also just so many, just like generic, like
Yeah.
for what seemed like hours. It became difficult to take. I mean, there was at one point I was like, oh my God, how far are we into this movie? And I was like, we're not halfway through.
I feel like Brian unfairly threw himself into a K-hole and then listened to the music,
I really couldn't take the music
which
of this movie.
also makes more sense as like he doesn't have his glasses, so he's blind. So he's watching the movie and he can't really focus on the visuals, so all he's
I
focusing
had
on
my
is the
glasses
audio.
for the movie. I wish I didn't, but I did.
Let's see. Back on the B line, we have Kelly floating out in a remote part of the lake, and then you have the most tasteful full frontal nudity that you'll get this side of 2010.
It's essentially like they tried to do the like trippy dream sequence from The Big Lebowski,
hmm
but did it in 3D and just with like nude, like skinny dipping
Yeah.
women.
Yeah.
But how do they hold their breath that long? Like they held their breath for like 8 minutes.
That's just the magic of editing, Brian. You're looking way too hard into this.
I'm just saying, it went on for a long time.
Plus, how do you know that they're not also free divers? Just because they take their clothes off, Brian, very misogynist of you.
How do you know that they don't hold the Guinness Book of World Records
PC
for
police over here.
how long they can hold their breath?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't know.
they can be world record divers. Of course.
Yeah, no, that I actually that was the thing to me too. At first, it took me a minute which one we were talking about, whether it was the chick we talked about earlier. That was like, I thought the same thing. I'm like, there's no way. Like maybe they had a diver hidden. And they're like, here, breathe. Now go back to do your sexy shit. Like,
No, it's just
Maybe. Could
it's
be.
just artistic editing. That's all it was.
Could be. That
course.
scene was so 3D. 98% of the time, 3D sucks.
Yeah.
This is no exception. But they did at least try to get creative with the way they used it, but it didn't make it impactful.
No, but I think it's fine that it wasn't impactful, because if you try to tie it too much to the movie, then when you watch it in not 3D,
Mhm.
it overall hurts it. If you go back to Friday the 13th,
Mhm.
there are just so many dumb fucking gimmicks that waste time, like the yo-yo scene, where it's just like a minute and a half of a yo-yo coming at the screen, and it has nothing to do with any fucking thing. Like the
Yeah.
yo-yo isn't used to hit Jason later on in the film. It's
Right.
it's just pointless. Whereas this one, a good example of the good use of 3D is after Kelly, they're doing body shots on the boat, and Kelly has had too much to drink, and she goes to throw up, and she throws up right into the camera.
Yeah,
Mhm.
It's a
3D
funny
too.
gag, and it's just quick, and it's only that one little thing.
mhm.
You don't have to look too much into it.
Mhm.
So, and it also it does work without the 3D, because it's just like, oh, she's just throwing up at the camera, and it's
Mhm.
just a funny camera angle at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, again, it's straight up exploitation horror. So
Yeah.
whatever they can do to get people to buy a ticket is
Right.
basically what they're doing,
Yeah,
right?
it's exploitation horror because you get to see a penis burped at the screen.
Yes,
That's funny.
We haven't got there yet. He
That's
eats
funny,
it,
Brian.
Jerry O'Connell's dick.
It's definitely one of my
and then-
larger notes.
and then
here.
and then burps the full dick out
Yeah,
with just a little bite taken out.
right.
Of it.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm just gonna let that speak for itself.
Yeah, it's fun and it's funny. You're not having a good time at spring break, Brian.
If you're not getting your dick eaten by fish, yeah.
Brian is actively trying to have a downer summer, but not enjoying
And
fish
not
biting
a boner.
penises.
Downer summer instead of a boner summer.
Steve's trying to have a boner summer. I'm
Hell yeah.
having downer summer.
Hell yeah, y'all. We have had a shit past 2 years. We should all get out there and have 2010 boner summer.
Woo!
Thank you, Meg.
2010 boner summer.
We're here for
That's
the boner
a shirt.
summer.
Yeah.
Or just boner summer 2010.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for my slasher girl summer, so you can't put that one out without putting mine
2010
out.
boner summer.
Maybe they'll come out at the same time.
2010 boner summer.
Slasher girl summer and boner summer.
But it's got to be 2010
Yeah,
boner.
2010 boner summer.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't imagine everyone rocking around.
Oh.
Everybody wants to go back to 2010. 2010 was a whole lot better. Everybody drinking, partying on the lake, no fatties.
No fatties. Boner summer 2010.
Boner summer.
It should say that's like no fatties.
Yeah.
And then the quote is Boner summer 2010. Like somebody said that
Right.
during Boner summer
Yeah.
2010.
It's like a rule
That's the
shirt.
quote.
Yeah.
That's a quote of the summer.
Just a quote. Yeah. Just like quoted somebody, Skylar, no fatties.
Skylar.
It would be Skylar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be Chad.
There's a lot of CGI blood
Mhm.
in this movie.
There's also a lot of practical blood.
Yeah. So here, the reason I was getting to that is they have this whole theme that they figure out that blood is like the signal for them all to attack.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like a shark.
Right. But they take it so far that it's not just that when they smell or taste blood, they attack whatever's in the vicinity.
Mm-hmm.
They only attack the person the blood is coming from.
Well, no, because they also.
Because at one point, Jerry O'Connell jumps in to save the other girl.
Right.
She gets bit first. She starts bleeding.
Right.
And they only attack her.
Right. Well, so they do kind of explain that the signal is the blood because the first bite draws blood, and then that's the overwhelming signal for the pack to come. They do explain that at one point.
They do.
So,
But like, if there's just two people in a pool of blood, the fish don't know where the blood came from.
right, but it's a prioritization.
I suppose.
For
but
them.
he was untouched. That's why I was saying.
Yeah,
between
he went
that-
untouched in that instance.
And then there was another point where I think, and forgive me, maybe I'm wrong, the insinuation was they were swimming around and they attacked a woman. And was the insinuation that she was menstruating?
Which woman?
The one whose butt was down in the water?
Oh,
in
maybe.
the tube?
Yeah, maybe.
And they're going around just going past people or whatever. And then they show that redheaded woman and she's just sitting there and she's got like a bikini with like, I don't know if I remember thinking the bikini, at this point I was fairly stoned because I've checked out of this movie. But I'm pretty sure her bikini was red polka dot bikini.
Okay.
Oh god.
And she was like sitting in a tube with like her
Yeah.
ass
Well-
in the water, and no one's getting touched, and all of a sudden it goes up and bites her undercarriage.
Yeah.
And I think the insinuation was
I mean, it might have
that
been.
she
It's
was
just,
I mean, I feel like I just don't see. I don't really totally see the A to Z, like unless you're like super naive about menstruating.
Yeah.
But like, maybe it was a color thing.
No, I think it was they wanted that to be the connection, and then somebody was like, "That's too stupid," and then they were like, "All right, let's just keep it loose."
and then it was just like, well, how do we show that?
That was what caused it,
Right.
because
Well,
it
what
was
if it, like,
right
even-
after they had a conversation about the blood being the signifier.
Right. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even so much so as Kate was like, "Are they looking for someone on their period? Is that what's happening right now?" Like that was like we both came to the same conclusion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. It might have been that, and like they just didn't show it real well. I think it was just a matter of there was so many targets in the water at that point,
Yeah.
and they just like that was the first one that you see in the editing
Yeah.
because the other thing is they start with is you get the cameo from Christopher Lloyd as the fish
Yes.
expert, and he demonstrates that just merely entering the water activates them because he taps his fingers into the tank.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if it is like a sensing thing, maybe it could have even have brushed, like their gill things might have like brushed up against someone and then
Mhm.
just went like, whoa, boom.
Yeah.
Like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I because even after that woman is attacked and pulled out of the inner tube, like it's just full on feeding frenzy, not just on
Mhm.
her, it's on
Yeah,
everybody.
that's
Yeah.
like what kicks it
Yeah,
off.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think
my-
it's just the gag that she goes through the inner tube,
Yeah.
and which is funnier than just like a regular person
Sure.
who's standing in the water getting
suppose.
attacked.
Yeah. My favorite part of that whole scene, because that was just like a lot of just like chaos and
Yeah.
blood and
It's,
biting.
it's a half hour
was-
fucking massacre.
Mhm.
The
It goes on for a long
yeah,
time.
Yeah.
for very long. Like is he the deputy that ends up like basically brain deading like all of these piranhas towards the end with the rudder. I was
Yeah,
just like,
Ving Rhames breaks off
yeah,
a motorboat rudder and,
And
just
then-
starts bringing it down on
Yeah.
all the
Whole-
fish.
He's basically spinning in the water with an outboard engine
Yeah,
and just shredding all of them. But there's a scene where I wrote down, I don't think they properly explained to Ving Rhames what was actually going to be happening in the scene, because he is like kind of falling and getting eaten as he's spinning around. So it's kind of like this, like, I'm going down with the ship type of moment.
yeah.
But the way he's like posturing himself and the way he's like delivering the lines, I don't think that he knew what the final shot was going to look like.
Maybe, maybe not. I
Yeah.
think it was just more of like almost like Terminator 2, Arnold going down.
Yeah, I
Like
mean that's
he's just kind of chopping at him, and like they're eating away at him from because he's in like knee deep water.
what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Is and
So-
they're like munching him all over.
Right.
But I think he thought he was going to be submerged more in water,
Yeah.
maybe for the scene.
Maybe.
because he's acting like he's getting eaten, like his legs are getting eaten,
Mm.
hmm
but he's actually his face and everything's getting eaten too. It's just
Well,
don't
I
know.
mean,
Mm.
once he finally drops, his face is kind of submerged, and I'll spoil Piranha 3 Double D for you.
feel free.
He
shucks.
comes back.
He comes back.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's on he has prosthetic legs.
Wow.
But the rest of him's fine.
Yeah, he's more or less, yeah.
Interesting.
Listen, I was never gonna watch Piranha Double D 3 Double D
Yeah.
anyway, but that's interesting to know.
Yeah,
Maybe
so-
now I will.
So I think what you see is just like the camera cuts too early, but like what really happens is another deputy comes in and drags him out, and he has lost his legs.
Could be.
And
Could
he's cut up enough piranhas that he isn't getting killed. You know, they're just
Yeah.
kind of nibbling like his back and his butt, and you know those wounds will heal.
Maybe their
but he
own
has
blood
lost
is
his
like
legs.
has the opposite effect. It's just like go away.
There's so many good people in here. Paul Shear,
Yeah,
so funny.
Yeah.
They give him nothing to do.
yeah. He's just kind of a boat
He doesn't
captain,
even have
camera
any
guy.
good lines.
No,
It's like that's why I wrote. This movie has so many people I like, and now I like them less.
although Paul was a writer on the film,
Okay,
so there's a good chance that he didn't just want to give himself stuff.
the good lines. He
Yeah.
should have.
Yeah.
He should have. Because he's by far the funniest person in this movie. Yeah, he did. I kept waiting for like, oh, at least I'm gonna get a cut because I didn't even know Paul Shear was in this until I started watching it,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh shit, at least we're gonna get a couple good lines.
Mm.
0.0 good lines
Yeah.
from Paul Shear.
Yeah.
He did say one little tiny funny thing, but it was like a throwaway line that he just said in a funny way.
I mean, he also might have just got edited out because he is like a tertiary character in a B story. So like he's
Definitely.
not. Yeah. He wasn't there to like really deliver out the lines. But yeah, if Adam Scott isn't being funny per se, he's being the action hero.
Mhm.
Then yeah, he should have been there for comedic relief because Jerry O'Connell wasn't. He
Yeah.
was just the dickhead. You're supposed to hate him.
Yeah. He
So-
was just like he was like Daffy Duck
Mm-hmm.
in basically in this movie.
You get the family coming back together because once the boat with Jerry O'Connell and Jake and the Wild Wild Girls, they run it aground trying to save the little kids from the island.
Mhm.
And it's at that point that they call in to Elizabeth Shue to let her know, that they're in danger because the boat is sinking. and that they're about to get eaten by piranhas. So her and Adam Scott go out to save, all of her kids and the Wild Wild Girls and Kelly.
The Wild Wild Girls.
The Wild Wild Girls.
Wow, wow, wow.
Which is now girl because the other one has been eaten.
Couple of scenes that came out like around this time that I really did appreciate was one, Ving Rhames just blasting indiscriminately into a crowd of people with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Not even the fish at one point. He's just shooting at
He was just shooting. He was
Yeah.
shooting into the water, and it was buckshot. So like it's not gonna.
He's just peppering people.
Right.
He's just peppering people.
It's
with
far
buckshot.
it's far better to kill a bunch of fish and then get a couple buckshots in your leg than get eaten by the
There
fish.
was a lot of bare asses picking buckshot out
Yeah.
of their
Yeah.
their butt cracks. Later.
Yeah.
Jerry O'Connell, I did say, kudos to him. He sent it in this
Yeah.
fucking movie.
Yeah.
He goes as far as, so at this point when he said, "They took my penis," I thought that was such a fun decision for him to yell that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you realize why he did, because they were going to show the CGI penis and,
Yeah.
and the fish. Now, do you think that came first?
It's a question.
Do you think it's a chicken or an egg situation?
Yeah.
I think
Question.
I think they're definitely planning. I mean, with
I think so, too.
he loves his penis too much.
Maybe. I mean, like maybe he yelled it, as an improv or not, because like the scene with the penis, it does feel very much just like an interstitial because it's edited on, or it's animated on its own.
Yeah, I felt like I did have the feeling that it felt like it came like maybe 30 seconds later than it should have.
Mhm.
As soon as he said, "They took my penis."
Right. You would expect,
Yeah.
like an underwater shot
Wanna
of
see
a
his-
fish like swimming off with his penis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you don't get.
But I
Instead,
like how
you
he
get
like
a later
burped
shot.
it back up too. That was
Mhm.
hilarious.
Yeah.
I
You-
laughed.
Yeah, you get a shot of the blonde Wild Wild Girl's silicone tits floating away from her body.
Yep.
Or maybe they're saline, which is why they would float. I don't know what silicone
I am gonna go
density
back.
is.
I'm gonna go back a few
Great job.
scenes,
Yeah.
but I forgot
Thanks for
to
doing
mention.
research.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Fucking
go back.
amateur.
I'm gonna go back a couple scenes, but I want to talk about the porn star you guys were mentioning who was in the like
Gianna
parasailing.
Michaels. Yeah.
I really fucking wanted like piranhas to somehow like attach to her tits and like her come up and then like
Oh,
she was
yeah.
like that was a missed opportunity
No,
in
because
my
then you
book.
couldn't see the tits.
Touche.
But I mean, you're right.
Gianna Michaels probably had it in her contract. My tits must be visible at all
Yeah.
times.
Touche.
Because you are right, Meg. The way they film it, they have her like almost dragging across the water
Yeah.
with her tits facing down at the camera in the water. You'd expect like when she comes back up on the parasail that she might have some fish on her boobs, but
Yeah.
that doesn't happen. She just kind of gets eaten from the legs down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just kind of a bummer.
I feel like they were like carrying her around. I'm trying to think of the movie where they were using a cow to like try to catch.
God.
You know what I-
Yeah,
you know what I'm
it was the
Lake
Lake
Placid.
Placid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, they kind of
Are you comparing my princess Gianna Michaels
Incredibly
to
rude.
the cow in Lake Placid? Betty White's cow?
What the fuck? What the fuck, Meg?
Fuck you, Meg. That's bullshit.
So rude.
Gianna Michaels is a foot taller than you. She'll beat your ass.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't make a mention of this, and I remember watching this and just like my eyes rolled the whole way back. Where at one point they like the piranhas just like munch people, right?
Mhm.
They do piranha stuff.
Yeah.
But at one point I can only describe it as tornado eat a girl.
Yeah.
They
It's a
do
sport.
they do their finishing move.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They do the RKO of piranhas, which
Yeah.
is like they do a weird tornado eating.
Yes. Yes.
It's so weird.
It's how they roll.
It's not explained. It never happens again or before.
It
It's
kind of
just-
happens before and after. They tornado eat Richard Dreyfuss.
not where you actually see
Not where they spin it.
the cone
Yeah.
like underwater.
But that's where they really come into stride. They've been worked into a frenzy.
I
They're,
guess.
they're really hitting it.
I don't know if we've gotten to the propane tank situation yet.
No, we haven't.
Okay.
No, this is the rescue scene of you do get another action hero Adam Scott scene before they go rescue the kids,
Mhm.
where he like does a monkey jump from a boat onto rigging
Yeah.
and then swings down onto a Sea-Doo and then grabs a loaded shotgun and rides around on a Sea-Doo with a shotgun.
This
shooting
is Bruce
fish.
Willis moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's shooting fish. He's
But he's
rescuing.
not convincing at all. I love Adam Scott. I think
Yeah.
he's extremely funny.
Mhm.
He's not an action hero.
It's in this unconvincingness though that I enjoy it
Yeah.
because it is not believable at all.
No.
Mm.
Like I don't even think he has his shirt off. He like
No, nothing. Well, imagine
But no one would really want to see that.
Jason Statham and him doing the same thing side by
Yeah.
side. Like how different it would
It
be.
would
Oh,
be
yeah.
a action comedy.
Yeah.
Like that's what it would have been.
He would be
Like-
the he would be the straight man nerd
right.
to the Jason Statham.
It's like
Oh,
when
yeah.
we
Type
see
character.
The Rock and Kevin Hart doing something
yes,
together.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he was playing second fiddle to The Rock, that would make total sense.
Mhm.
He can't pull this off.
No, he can't pull it off, but that's why I like it because it's he does come off as like very heroic because he's just rescuing people
But
for
he's
no
not
reason.
he's
But
not
it's
even,
not. Yeah, it is completely out of like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense at all.
Yeah, he doesn't even do it in the because he could go the other direction and be like the nerdy, unlikely hero, like
Mhm.
the Jesse Eisenberg in Zombieland kind
Right.
of situation,
Mhm, yeah.
where you're a nerdy guy who steps up and has courage when the shit gets wild. But no, they're trying to make him an action hero.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This I'm trying to think like who was this meant to be for? If it was
Yeah, it was not meant to be for Adam Scott, right?
Yeah.
Who would it have been? I mean, Jason Statham would be the
Probably
obvious
maybe
one.
at that
Honestly, freaking the guy from your movie, we just said his name,
Thomas Jane.
Thomas Jane. Thomas
Mhm.
Jane would have been a better, but Thomas Jane wouldn't be a scientist.
right.
Thomas Jane.
Nobody's ever
dumb
believed
as a
Thomas
fucking
Jane
brick.
scientist.
Yeah, Thomas Jane, just his face looks
Oh
like he
my
can't
God.
read.
yeah.
And I don't mean that
His
disrespectfully.
face is
Yeah.
not meant for reading,
Yeah.
and we're
Yeah,
all
yeah.
okay with
He's
that.
he's a nice guy, but
Yeah, he's got.
we
I
don't,
like
nobody
Thomas
thinks
Jane.
he reads.
Yeah, no one's. I feel like that's a T-shirt. Thomas Jane. Nobody thinks he reads. No, but like I'm trying to think around that time who would have even made sense.
yeah.
Like
Maybe
Liam Neeson's too old even then.
Gerard Butler, maybe.
Too good looking.
I would say you'd be too big
Eh.
too. I feel like you still need someone who might still be a little bit
Vin
modest.
Diesel can't read.
Brian's just like reading off people who
I'm
can't
trying
read.
to think. I'm like, nah, that guy can't read. That guy can't read.
Matt Damon.
Nah.
No, too famous.
Too
they could
famous.
never afford him.
Yeah.
Nick Cage would have been sweet.
He would have been interesting.
I mean, but I could say that for anything.
right, yeah.
There's
Yeah,
there's never a scenario where I'm going to go Nick Cage.
Yeah,
wouldn't
you can
be
plug
sweet.
Nick Cage into almost anything.
Yeah. You know what actually might have worked, and he's probably too big for this too. But like, I could have saw a Mark Wahlberg situation.
In 2010? No, because I don't think he landed Transformers yet. So I think Mark Wahlberg would have fit in okay.
But
Yeah,
I
that's
still
not-
think Mark Wahlberg has too much of that dumb cute look. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He
Oh,
could
yeah,
be
no,
a
he's-
That's
scientist.
what I
he's
feel
definitely
like,
not
that's
a
what I was saying.
scientist.
Like,
Nah,
I was
never
just-
mind, you're
that's
right, he
what I was
can't
thinking,
read
like
either.
Matt Damon. I feel like he looks smart,
Yeah.
but also
I feel
Everyone
like,
else,
he's
everyone
like-
I'm thinking of is either they couldn't afford him or they're too stupid looking. Like Daniel Craig can't afford him.
I feel
know?
like you would have to rewrite it in that like Mark Wahlberg would have to be one of the divers, but not the scientist.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, Adam Scott still gets to be the scientist, and he gets eaten, and
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg drags his body out of the water.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mark Wahlberg like
Mark
can't.
Wahlberg would have been like punching piranhas
Yeah.
in the face.
He's like,
Hey, you fucking shit!
hey, piranhas. Tell your mother I said hi. Say hello to your mother for me.
Fuck you, you
Throws one
fucking
on the boat, and
piranha!
he's like, "Have Ma cook this up."
What, you got a cigarette? You don't smoke? Are you some kind of queer? Yeah, I honestly can't think of anybody else.
Hey, there's a bunch of fucking piranha out here. I can't fucking believe it.
I can't fucking believe it. It's piranha.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Can you believe all these piranha?
You know what? 2010.
Those
When did
accents were,
Cabin
like,
in the
too
Woods
perfect.
came? When did Cabin in the Woods come out?
Oh, Cabin in the Woods. I think that was 2014, wasn't it?
You could have definitely got a
Hemsworth?
A Hemsworth.
A
for
Hemsworth.
this.
You're
the
right
pick.
on. Chris
Chef's
Hemsworth.
kiss there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a Hemsworth because he doesn't look completely stupid,
Right.
but he's good looking
Mhm.
and he could be an action star.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
He's-
Hemsworth.
he-
Take a Hemsworth. I don't even give a shit which one.
He just straddles the line of himbo that
Yeah. Like he reads, but not good.
Right.
He reads at like a 6th grade level.
He reads, but out loud.
His ribs hurt for that one. An adult man reading out loud just kills me.
Oh, shit.
That might have to be the first laugh break we have to edit out. I don't
Oh,
know.
God.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Touche, salesman. All right, wrap up your piece of shit movie.
We spent a lot of time on this.
I know.
movie.
Well, you guys keep interrupting.
I know,
You
I
don't
know.
just bask in the glory of summer fun.
That's what all.
2010.
That's what all the first movie. You
Oh my
always
God.
get you always there's the most to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. So Elizabeth Shue and Adam Scott, they drive out to the boat that's stuck in the rocks. It's filling with water, filling with piranhas. Kelly's in danger. The kids and Jake and Wild Wild Girl are in danger as well.
Who's
They,
the wild, wild girl name? The last one standing, Denise, because she looks
I think
like
it's
a Denise.
Danny.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
call her Denise.
I think it's Danny and Crystal were the Wild Wild Girls.
Okay.
One of them was Crystal. I knew.
Yeah, the one
Before
that
I
was
looked at
the one that
thing.
was Crystal is also a pornographic actress. So
Makes sense.
yeah.
Pornographic. I've never heard the full word said like that in a long time.
This is a sophisticated
Yeah,
show.
yeah. It's a sophisticated show. It was a serious role for her. They basically do the Rogue thing, but better. Because remember in Rogue where they tie the
Right,
line
yeah.
between the island and the
Oh,
tree?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, they
When they're
tie,
on that little tidal island thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. Or what-
yeah they tie a line between the two boats and have the people cross over. It was kind of stupid though, because they send Danny first, and then they have the two kids following behind her, and then Elizabeth Shue's following behind her.
Well, and Kate was saying, why did Elizabeth Shue go first in the first place?
Right.
It's just one more person has to come back.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah. One more person to come back, and they all go at the same time, which weighs down the line.
Yeah.
But then also, Wild Wild Girl wasn't smart enough to like tie up her hair. So like the fish are jumping out of the water, biting her hair and dragging her down into the water.
Pulling the whole line down.
Yeah,
too,
pulling the whole line down. She goes in and she gets killed. And like, I don't know, I felt bad because like she didn't do anything wrong.
No.
She was like a nice character. She tried to get Jake's D wet, and then
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you feel bad.
But I
for
feel
her.
like at
Born
that
for
point
it.
you knew someone had to die and who was going to die. They're not going to kill a kid.
Oh yeah,
No.
exactly.
I was actually
Like-
really hoping they were going to kill one of the kids. I was like, they're going to do it. Are they going to do it? Let's do
Yeah,
it.
like the little boy could have gone.
He could have
like,
gone.
Because one, Elizabeth Shue already had 2 sons, so she can stand to lose one and
Wow.
still
Yeah,
have
get
a
rid of
son.
one.
Yeah,
Right,
I'm
he was
not
a
weighing in
fucking-
on that conversation.
And it's just a burden off her shoulders.
Yeah, he was expendable.
Yeah, he was the dumb one that got them stuck on that island in the first
True.
fucking
Kid's
place.
The little
idiot.
shitheads, yeah.
It's
Sad
fucking idiot.
chance.
Wish he would have got eaten.
But yeah, the kids get saved. Elizabeth Shue crosses, and then Jake decides to have his hero moment because he needs to save Kelly. And this is where it comes back to Brian's convoluted objections to who it gets attacked when, because he throws Jerry O'Connell's body over, which what a horrific thing to have to do of like pick up like
He's very light at that point. Though.
he's
That's
very
just-
light, but also like
It was awkward.
he dies like minutes before, like seconds even before he does it. Like
Yeah.
he goes, "Oh, that guy just died in my arms." Yeet.
I mean, in response, he was an asshole.
Oh yeah, he was a shitbird. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not worried about him dying. You're not feeling bad for him.
No, no.
And plus, he's dead. You're fucking meat now. Bye.
Mhm. Yeah. But
You
also,
meat. Bye. Just kick his
Yeah.
ass off.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even picked him up. I just fucking got down on my feet, and kicked him with my legs, like when you're kicking one of your siblings off the bed when you're arguing.
see, I wouldn't have because I wouldn't want to get any of it between my toes. I would have something about that.
Yeah, then you get human goo between your toes.
He
Yeah.
doesn't want anything between his toes.
Don't like it.
Yeah.
Don't like it.
Not a fan.
No.
Not even sand.
No, I mean sand's fine, but it's just like nothing gooey. Like gooey.
See, if I see something like muddy, like I want to put my feet in. Like if I see like a kind of sloppy, like a mud pit or like
I got
gack or
squish.
something, I'm like, oh, I want to see what that feels like squishing my toes.
We're all a very diverse group of people.
Yeah, we are.
guys,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
on our
Yeah.
preferences.
Yeah. When you think about it. So yeah, he tosses Jerry O'Connell over, and then he gets in the other side of the boat, and his plan, I don't even know how he came up with, like, his plan is to have the other boat drag him and Kelly out at the same time.
Right.
But while he's down there, he also concocts this, I'm going to blow up the boat too.
Yep.
Like, he just improvises like MacGyver.
He really does. And I made the note that the propane tanks stick out like a fucking green herb in Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
Like they're practically glowing in the
Yeah.
in the background.
They are uncovered. They're not behind any cabinetry. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
The freaking shot like lingers on them almost.
Yeah. Which, like, you don't need to do that kind of Chekhov's gun shot at this moment. Like, we're going to figure it out soon enough.
Mhm.
But he comes up with this, I'm going to release the valves on the propane tanks, and then I'm going to light a flare,
Mhm.
and then it'll float up and then explode. Because I guess he knows he's done that before, maybe.
Yeah. This is an old trick.
Old trick for blowing up boats and
Old-
sinking them to the bottom of the lake.
Old family trick.
Old trick.
That's
for,
where Dad went.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
That's a prequel we have not seen.
I can't wait for the Piranha 3D Origins.
Piranha Origins.
But would the origins be like prehistoric time? 'Cause
Oh,
that'd
then
be-
that's
yeah.
that's even the
Mm.
prequel to the prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
That would be competing with Jurassic Park then at that point.
Mhm.
And
Mhm, mhm.
might have problems.
Dang.
No, I don't feel like Jake. Up to this point, we obviously have established Jake has done nothing
Yeah.
to show us that this is something he would ever do.
Yeah, he got fucking choked by Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah.
I would never let Jerry O'Connell choke me.
I mean, I would in the right circumstances. You know what I mean? He's a handsome man.
But yeah, he hasn't shown any of this bravery up until this point. So, but he's just so desperate to get his D wet, I think, because Crystal he saw get eaten. Danny just
I
got
didn't
eaten.
know that like the penis mind could be that strong to like come up with concoct these type of plans.
You
know?
have never been a teenage boy, so
I've
You're
I've put myself in danger because of horniness 100 times in my life at least.
literally the X
Between the
Games.
ages of 14 and 17, I did 100 times.
Yeah, literally
I've
the
been
X
almost been
Games
arre-
exist for this whole reason.
The X Games exist because of horny teenage
Yeah.
boys. Yeah.
What if I jump off this little ramp? Maybe she'll love me. What if I? Am I cool now? Am I cool now? And that's the basic teenage boy mind.
Okay, cool. Thanks, guys, for
Yeah.
the insight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just imperiling yourself in hopes of getting touched.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. His plan, magically works. They're dragged out through the boat, and it explodes and kills a lot of the fish and stuns a lot of them. And
They're pretty confident they're all dead at that point.
yeah,
Weirdly.
yeah.
But I
Even
don't
They're
think
like,
it-
they're all dead. Yay. Like,
Despite being
celebrating.
told there's thousands of
Yeah,
them.
I'm like, yeah, and they like are quickly not understanding that the thing that killed the one diver, actually, there's like thousands of little guys down there still.
Right, yeah.
Like,
There's
this is
still a whole
not
bunch
over.
of eggs. Yeah. They and then it just ends with like a fun little call from Christopher Lloyd explaining that the piranhas we've been seeing are all just like the young, unmature babies. And Adam Scott just kind of gives a fun like, well then where are the pair? And then gets eaten by a giant piranha.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
his line delivery like is so strange. He's like, "Where are the parents again?" Like somebody told him and he forgot. Though.
Right.
It's such a weird line delivery.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it was fine. It was funny enough, and
It was a good jump scare surprise to
Right.
end it with. That's fine.
and then you get Piranha 3 Double D.
Yeah, you sure do.
Ving Rhames is back.
I do want to see how they do that. Here's what I'm going to do with Piranha 3 Double D. I'm going to put it on when I'm very stoned. Watch 10 minutes of it at a time
Yeah.
for 6 months.
Okay.
That's going to be that. You know that movie you always
Yeah.
do that with? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I do.
Can you possibly make this like a toilet movie for you?
Oh yeah. Just only watch it when you're taking a shit. Yeah,
Right, yeah.
It's like the toilet reader.
Right,
version.
yeah.
Association that you'll make with that movie is
Mhm.
like.
And it deserves it. Yeah.
I mean, you're near water, so you.
Just hearing the plops. All right. That was
A whole lot of fun.
Piranha 3D.
What a great movie.
What a great movie.
We should remind everyone that like Steve chose this movie specifically also because he thought that I would somehow be like,
I thought you would enjoy it. Like,
yeah, I mean,
think
you
it's
know me
enjoyable.
well
It's
enough
fun.
now
No,
that
I
I'd be like,
didn't
yeah, this
hate
is
it.
fun. Yeah,
I perhaps wasn't in the mood for it. I don't know. I will give it that leeway that I did not enjoy the experience, but perhaps it was because I wasn't in the mood for it. If in a different mood, I might have enjoyed it more. There were enjoyable moments.
I don't know what kind of mood besides being like high on shrooms or something like that where I would have actively chosen to like watch this. But there were some like I did like actively laugh out loud at a couple things, and I'm like I've mentioned a couple of them, and I did have fun with it, but I don't think I would have ever
I feel
chosen
like
to watch
if
it.
I'm in the mood for the mood that would make me enjoy Piranha 3D would be better served by like an asylum film or something.
Mm,
Because if I'm in the mood for just something super goofy,
yeah.
I'd rather it be something that like is goofy more in spite of itself
Mm.
rather than like wink wink nod nod we're being goofy. Like I think it hits that spot for me for like horror comedy where it's not funny haha
Right.
and it's not funny oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the middle.
But I
Yeah.
think that was also like a 2010 thing. There was certain
Right.
corniness
Yeah,
to a lot
think
of
about
those
this.
type
This
of
was
movies.
right after like a lot of the scary movies
Yeah.
were really
Mhm.
big and stuff. So it's a different time. I get it.
Mhm.
And just in general, like your sense of humor isn't the same as it was in 2010.
No,
So
certainly not. Yeah.
you know, like, and that's just everybody. Everybody's sense of humor is different.
Mhm.
I just think it's also just a very fun movie to go back and see. Like, you have all of these stars
Mhm.
coming together for like one of the last big hurrahs in exploitation film.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, like
Yeah.
you hardly get like, yeah, there's a lot of shitty CGI in this, but like you hardly get the practical effect levels.
Yep.
That you see, you know, like, and like I said,
What
like
was the budget on this? I'm curious now.
I couldn't imagine more than like 40 million, maybe. But
That's a lot, though.
yeah, but I couldn't imagine more than that. But yeah, like we just said, like the sadness we were so impressed with because there were so many practical effects in it. Because you just don't see it enough anymore. You know, the I think, you know, like Scream 6 or Scream 5, there's a lot of practical effects in that. But like also it's not going to extreme levels. Like it's just like a lot of blood fountains and stuff. This is like full on torsos and, you know, like there's a lot of they take advantage of I don't want to say take advantage, but they employ like, you know, amputee actors,
Mhm.
you know, as a lot of zombie films do. So they
Interesting.
can
I didn't
so
know
they
that
can
was a thing. That's
Yeah.
cool.
yeah, like a lot of amputee actors get work in The Walking Dead.
Mm.
You know, because
see.
because they can do the makeup and then like, you know, they're obviously missing limbs.
Yeah.
So, like-
I'm watching this thing and I just watch them like if they have like a prosthetic, they just like take it off. Like I'm ready to go to work.
Yeah. So like, yeah, there's one specific of like there's a deputy being dragged out of the lake, and like he's a it seems pretty obvious that he's a below the knee amputee because like below his knee is like a skeleton leg,
Mm.
like covered.
Oh,
in
I remember
gore.
that scene. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. There's a couple good. Yeah, I mean the practical effects were fun.
Yeah.
The ones where was I can't remember. Oh, I just looked it up. 24 million is what the estimated budget
Okay, yeah,
was,
yeah.
which was
So-
probably includes promotion and stuff,
Mhm.
which sounds about right.
Yeah.
The best kill, and I think it was practical, or at least part of it was practical, was Eli Roth's.
Oh,
head
yeah.
getting squished between the bones.
Yeah, his head getting smashed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was definitely practical.
That was
And
a good
then
one.
yeah, because I think I don't know how. Like I was very curious when Todd was running through that group of people.
Mhm.
Like, were they using stunt people
yeah,
for
because
that,
it
or
looked
was
dangerous.
it dummies? Yeah, it looked very dangerous.
Yeah, I thought that too.
or was it like dummies? Because there's a lot you don't see faces.
There were definitely some dummies, but I feel like there were definitely some stunt people too.
Yeah.
Because they were like thrusting them, like pushing themselves
Mhm.
off the boat to make it seem like they were getting whacked.
Right.
Mm.
And if I had to guess, it obviously wasn't a boat free running.
No,
But I think maybe
it's
like it
probably
was
getting pulled.
or
something.
on a track.
Yeah.
And it was like being pulled through the water, and then
Mhm.
so they could know they could bounce off and be free. But like
Mhm.
still, that seemed, I don't know, still that's dangerous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was. I actually did appreciate that scene. They made it.
It was intense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's good.
Because then the fucking kid's like, "Get the fuck out of the way!" Just screaming and stuff. That was pretty. That might have been my favorite scene. All right. Any final thoughts?
No, we just spent almost an hour and a half talking about Piranha 3D though. Which,
Yeah. That's
Summer Party
something-
2010.
That's something I'm gonna put on my obituary someday. I once talked about Piranha 3D for longer than the movie took to run.
Yeah.
It's only an hour.
Continued in part 2. I hate Mondays.